What's going on, growers? It's James Prigioni coming to you live from Jersey. If you're someone who wants big harvests, but you don't have the time to be slaving over your garden and putting all the work in, this right here is a system for you. Masanobu Fukuoka, when he had this system in at age 74, used to take care of 12 acres of high productive forest, just like this. Let me take you through, show you some of the harvests we're getting, and just bring you along for the whole system. Let's go. Permaculture is what opened my mind to understanding this and forming a system. It's almost like living clockwork, but we're taking these living organisms, we're arranging them in different patterns in order to work towards a function, to get a yield, something that we want. We're not doing anything new. We're just looking at laws of nature, relationships that we see out in the wild, and copying those, bringing them into our gardens. And you can see, as a result, we're getting good harvests. Like I said, with very little work. That's important. Some people might have huge harvests, but they're putting so much work in. You need to balance out how much work you're getting for how much result. Let's get some of these soldaki.
10,000 words swung around my head, 10 million more in books written beneath my bed.
One of the fun things about permaculture, and one of the things I love about it, is that it deals with living organisms. A lot of times when you create systems, like I previously mentioned, like a clock, all those parts, they're not living, so there's almost only so much that could happen. When you have these living organisms, it makes it so much more interesting because the connections, they can be beneficial, they can be unbeneficial, but you never know. That makes it exciting, that makes it intriguing. And we've talked about it before, but Bill Mollison says, diversity and balance, they're together. But it's not the more diversity you have, the more sustainable and the more balanced your system is. It's rather the more beneficial connections. That's so important. Beneficial connections and relationships is what we want to build.
I read them all and searching in the swarm, still can't find how to hold my hands. And I know you need me in the next room over, but I am stuck in here all paralyzed. For months I got myself in rows, too much time spinning mirrors framed in yellow walls. I hear their call.
One thing I want you all to realize is this here, all these beautiful colors, these tomatoes, I got all this stuff from this small section right here. This is just one day. I come out here all the time and harvest. You can see there's plenty of tomatoes, the next round coming, a lot of kale, peppers. There's so much growing in a small location. So I don't want to hear any excuses that you don't have the space. You can see we grew everything up stakes. The reason we do that is overall our plants, per plant, we're gonna get a lower yield, but our overall yield as a system in one location, it's gonna be higher because we fit more plants in a smaller spot. Plus, we're using that vertical area. This is a fun little tomato, one you guys probably haven't seen. I think I'll save seeds from it. I've never seen it before. Not the greatest tasting tomato, but it's rare. Sometimes it's just fun to grow things because they're more rare. If you've got the space, because I like to talk about it sometimes too, but you've got to enjoy yourself out here. If you don't enjoy yourself, you're not gonna want to come out here all the time. If you can blend something like this, a hobby, a passion, and something that's gonna actually bring you something out of it, food, knowledge, I mean, that's the way to go. And this location where I'm at, we're underneath a mulberry tree, as I've told you before, and we're also next to other fruit trees. So we're getting that multifunctionality, multiple yields in one location, and that fence is working great for us. It's keeping things out, but it's also getting us an excellent yield. I fell behind on some of the pickling cucumbers because I just can't keep up with them. Cucumbers grow so fast. You can see a monster one there looking real nice. It was so heavy, it was trying to pull the tree down. This apple tree, it's kind of getting, worked by the cucumbers, but I don't think they'll cause any damage to it. We'll strengthen this tree up, and if we're not getting a yield from it, we'll get that multifunctionality. We'll at least use it as a trellis. One thing Bill Mollison talks about as well is self-replicating. That's what you really know you have a good system. A system that, just keeps repeating itself, and you can see we've got that right there, echinacea. And also a system that's self-supporting, which is basically just means sustainable. Something we don't strive over every day and, come out here for hours and work. And it's not that we don't want to work. We love working hard, but we don't want to work hard outside. We rather work hard and think. Work hard on the design of the system. work hard studying, and then get bigger yields as a result. So we don't mind putting the work in, we just don't want to do the physical labor. In my opinion, it's just not worth it. I mean, I like coming out here and doing some of the daily work, but we're not killing ourselves to get yields.
And everyone around me shakes their head in disbelief. It says I'm too caught up. They say young is good and old is fine and truth is cool, but all that matters is you have your good times. But their good times come with prices, and I can't believe it when I hear the jokes they make. At anyone's expense except their own. Would they laugh if they knew who paid? Ain't it like most people? I'm no different. We love to talk on things we don't know about. Ain't it like most people? I'm no different. We love to talk on things we don't know about.
One of the main things to get, and the whole philosophy with this style of gardening, with permaculture, with natural farming, with all that stuff, is the idea that we work with nature, not against it. And this is a section I love right here. It's super, super dense, probably more dense than it should be, but we're still getting great yields. Look at the size of this beautiful cucumber here. I've got too many cucumbers to eat, but we'll share a lot of them. And you can see we've got some indigo cream tomatoes, some ripe ones right here. We just come out and eat them whenever we want. We've got so many. But then you need to look to the right down here. Pink Brandywine, ready to go. Gonna just harvest that whole group of them. See what we come out with. So I'm gonna cut a little bit on the fence, but that's okay, we still got so many. It's a beautiful one there. And we had another one fall to the ground. You guys can do this, anyone can do this in your own backyard. And this isn't expensive, guys. What we spent money on was the seeds, the varieties. Besides that, we did it all ourselves. We didn't bring in a lot of expensive fertilizer or anything. We put the wood chips down, we worked with nature, we copied what a natural system did, we learned from it, and now we're growing a lot of food.
And after we are through 10 years of making this to be the most glorious debut, I come back home without my things, cause the clothes I wore out there I will not wear around you. And they'll be quick to point out our shortcomings, how the experts all have had their doubts.
You'll notice we're harvesting a lot of tomatoes for this video. That's one of my favorite things to grow, and it's just the time of year where the harvests are coming in heavy. Soon the peppers will just be out of control, and I can't wait to bring you guys along for those. We're still getting basil and kale and all different kind of harvests. I mainly like showing you the tomatoes because they just look so good. And in Jersey, there's almost nothing better. If you guys are enjoying the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share with your friends, and check us out on Steam It. We're always posting on there. Let me bring you through and show you some of the basils and stuff we're cutting down, how big they're getting. I want to show you what a basil plant is supposed to look like. When you got this many tomatoes and still way more on the vines, you got to have some basil to grow with that. That's what we got over here. Look at this thing. This is a basil plant. Actually, this is probably more like a pesto factory. Look at that thing. I've talked about it before. How do we get so much basil? We cut back the heads when it's flowering. Like this, pop that right off. I just come out with scissors though and pop it off. And you can use that for cooking and stuff, but I have so much basil I don't need to. I find the stuff that's around the things that flower usually gets a little more, I don't know, bitter maybe. It's just not as good as the fresh young stuff in my opinion. New green beans coming up next round. These are fun. We love those purple beans, so we put those in, but we also love the dragon tongue, so we kind of did purple dragon tongue. I think that's gonna be cool. Milkweed, because you gotta support those monarchs. And here's the next round of, what do you call that? Zucchini coming up, which is great. A pepper, that's more of an ornamental. Beautiful colors, I love it. Back here we've got some tomatoes that came up on their own, and now they've just gone rogue. They're going crazy, trying to take over the strawberry section. They'll be just fine though. I'm not worried about it taking over the strawberries because strawberries are resilient and they can grow in shade. Look how small these tomatoes are. Very cool variety. Some of the peppers are starting to ripen up over here. And you can see just things are looking dense in a garden that was just put in a couple months ago with very little work. I want to share this with you so much because I want you guys to have this. Everyone should have this.
Do what we can, laugh and we cry, and we sleep in your dust because we've seen this all before. Culture fades with tears and grace, leaving us stunned, hollow with shame. We have seen this all before. Many tribes of a modern kind, doing brand new work, same spirit by his side, joining hearts and hands in ancestral twine, ancestral twine. Many tribes of a modern kind, doing brand new work, same spirit by his side, joining hearts and hands in ancestral twine, ancestral twine. And slowly it fades.
That's today's video, growers. Thanks for watching. I just recently watched a video and it was talking about Israel when it was becoming a nation in like 1948. And almost a third of the population, I think it was, had malaria. It was insane. There was just so many sick people, and what it had to do with was there was a swampland that was just overrun with mosquitoes, so many. So instead of Israel fighting those mosquitoes, they did something else. They went for a solution instead of fighting against a problem. They didn't just put a Band-Aid on it. They applied a new pattern on that landscape. They changed the way the water moved, and that affected everything. So that's kind of what permaculture is. What we want to do is just apply a pattern on a landscape for a function. That's kind of as basic as it gets. If you guys enjoyed the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share it with your friends, and check us out on Steam It. James Prigioni and Tuck, we'll be back at you real soon.
Spirit bird, she creaks and groans, she knows she has seen this all before, she has seen this all before, she has.